Hello and welcome. Look for Alder Valley on any map and you will be sorely disappointed because it doesn't actually exist. Alder Valley was a bus company that operated in Berkshire, Surrey and Hampshire in the UK and was formed on the 1st of January 1972 when the National Bus Company amalgamated two of its subsidiaries. The first one was the BET-controlled Aldershot and District Traction Company. This company had a proud history dating back to 1912 and was well known for its use of the locally produced Dennis chassis. The second part of the mix was the former transport holding company Thames Valley Traction Company Limited. The origins of this company went back to 1915, where British Automobile Traction had started a branch in Reading, and this formed the basis for the Thames Valley. Initially, after the formation of Alder Valley, the company chose an attractive deep red and cream livery, but this was soon swept away for National Bus Company Poppy Red. During the early years of Alder Valley, the fleet was made up of the vehicles from the previous two companies, with the Dennises of Aldershot and District now wearing Poppy Red, whilst Thames Valley added a fleet of Tilling-style Bristols into the mix, which were again painted in NBC Poppy Red, which started to be applied to the fleet from September 1972. At this time, the fleet was around 600 vehicles. It wasn't too long though before standard National Bus Company vehicles started making inroads into the other vehicles, and these appeared in the form of Leyland Nationals, Eastern Coachworks bodied Bristol VRs and Leyland Leopards. Before the two companies were merged, Thames Valley used the name South Midland on its coaches. This dated from when British Transport Commission purchased the Red and White Group's bus services in 1950, and two of the Red and White companies were put under Thames Valley's control. One was Newbury and District Motor Services, while the other one was, of course, South Midland Motor Services. Control of South Midland was transferred to City of Oxford Motor Services in 1971. Another feature of Thames Valley's operations was the commuter services that served London. These were operated from Farnham and Reading, and these commuter services were something that the new Alder Valley also continued to operate. From the early 1980s, these services were branded as Londonlink and were serving London via the motorway. Their fleet featured vehicles like this nice Leyland Olympian coach in this rather tasty Venetian blind style livery, which was all the rage for the National Bus Company subsidiaries around this time. Again in the early 1980s saw the National Bus Company's market analysis project. This saw National Bus Company subsidiaries brand their vehicles with a more local identity, and one of several that Alder Valley used was Aldershot and District. 1st of January 1986 saw Alder Valley split into two again, with Alder Valley North and Alder Valley South being formed. I bet it took them a long time to come up with those names, didn't it? This was the run-up to deregulation and privatisation of the bus company. Alder Valley North was sold in January 1987 to Q Drive, who traded as the B Line. Over the next few years, the B Line sold various bits of its network off to other operators. These other operators included Reading Transport and City of Oxford Motor Services, with Oxford running the former B Line services as Wickham Bus. This later passed to Arriva, Shires and Essex. In 1996, the remaining operations were sold to Centre West, who then sold it on to First, and this became First Berkshire. Meanwhile, Alder Valley South was sold in December 1987, and this was to the Front Source Group, who introduced lots of minibuses and this rather nice two-tone green and yellow livery. A year later, Front Source sold Alder Valley South on to Q Drive, which brought both sides of Alder Valley back into common ownership. Q Drive sold the Guildford and Woking operations onto the Drawline Group, which eventually ended up with Arriva, Guildford and West Surrey. And if that wasn't all confusing enough, in October 1992, the rest of the operations was sold to Stagecoach to become Stagecoach Hants and Surrey. Now, just to confuse things even more, in 2002, the Alder Valley name was revived as Alder Valley Travel. They operated rail replacement works, school bus contracts and stage carriage work, but in 2009 the company ceased trading and the routes and vehicles passed to Atbus. I hope you enjoyed this potted history on Alder Valley. If you did, please like and share the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel as it helps the channel grow and encourages me to do more videos like this. In the next episode I will be looking at black and white motorways. Thanks very much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.